Hi students, let us play with physics. So as we have already seen in the diagram, consider a circle, a wave. A particle is kept at the center point O here, and a particle is here, one particle is here. When the particle travels from this point to the maximum height and then comes back to the mean position and then crosses the mean position and comes to the maximum point here and then comes back to the original position, then it completes one full vibration. So this is what we call as one full cycle of vibration. And when the particle starts from here and comes to the maximum point 90 degree and then reaches here and then comes here at an angle of 270 degree and then reaches the same position, it means it has completed one full cycle of revolution. And here, when the particle travels from this point and then reaches the full angle 2 pi, then it means that the particle has completed one full cycle of wave. Okay, so why do I explain these things? Let us know what is meant by frequency, what is meant by wavelength, and what is meant by wave number. So frequency means the number of cycles per second, the number of vibration per second, or the number of oscillations per second. For example, I am going to draw some waves. So this is one full cycle of a wave. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 cycles. Let us consider the wave travel from this point to this point. It takes 1 second. So it means 4 cycles per second. Let me take another wave. For the same 1 second. So here the number of cycles are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 cycles per second. So I say frequency means number of cycles per second, right? Here for 1 second it has completed 4 cycles. Here for 1 second it has completed 10 cycles. It means here the frequency is more. Here in this way, here the frequency is less. So now what is meant by wavelength? For example, when you take a wave like this, if this wave completes one full cycle, this is called as one full lambda. This lambda is a symbol for wavelength. Or I can also say, if you draw a wave like this, so I can define wavelength as, if this is a crest part of the wave, and if this is a trough part of the wave, then it is the distance between the two consecutive crest or distance between the two consecutive troughs. So this distance will also be equal to this distance. So this one complete, the wave for one complete cycle is also wavelength, or the distance between two consecutive, so next like that, consecutive crest, CRESTS, or distance between the consecutive troughs, right? It is called as wavelength. So here, let me measure the wavelength. The distance between the two consecutive crest is lambda here. The distance between the two consecutive crests is taken as lambda here. Here this has a shorter wavelength, this has a greater wavelength. So wherever the frequency is less, certainly the wavelength will be more. So wherever the frequency is more, certainly the wavelength will be less. So frequency is always inversely proportional to the wavelength. Now what is meant by wave number? It is nothing but the reciprocal of the wavelength. It is nothing but the reciprocal of the velocity. Or I can say, it's